Hello. Um, there's quite a bit I need to talk about in this video, and it's kind of high importance. So please do bear with me. First and foremost, this is my second attempt at social media, where I'll be attempting to pursue my purpose, goals, and dreams. I've recently discovered some rather shocking information, which at this point is suspicion on my part. However, too many pieces of the puzzle are fitting together, and I don't believe in coincidence at all. Um, Also, my gut intuition is practically screaming at me, and in my past, I ignored that for far too long, so I'm not ignoring it anymore. Um, it's not convenient for me to go into details about the situation, but I will say that it started in March when I found out that my narcissistic ex was repeatedly viewing my other um, TikTok profile and account. At the time, I didn't think anything of it. I brushed it off and, left it at that. But I've since then found out some other information, and like I said, there's too many pieces that are falling into place. So I'd rather just start over and get out from all the watchful eyes. Um, I'm not running away. I'm not bothered by it. I'm not concerned with it. It's just for my own sanity and peace of mind. Especially with what I want to share. Um, I'd rather just start again and just play it safe and be careful. I'm not in any danger or anything like that. It's just I'm just being on the side of caution. Um, that brings me to my next thing. When I re-upload my videos from my other channel, the first one will more or less explain everything, but I'd like to just go into a bit more detail here quickly so you've got an idea of what's going on. So my entire life until around 2025, I suffered under narcissistic abuse from 3 narcissists. I eventually experienced a mental breakdown, and my narcissistic ex used that, manipulated the system, and took my children off me. But I'd always asked myself throughout my whole lifetime, I'd always asked myself, why do I have to suffer? Why does everything that happens to me have to be bad? Where's the balance of good and bad? It was just all bad. Um, After I started coming out of the breakdown, I started thinking, well, maybe the reason I had to experience all that bad stuff was to use my experience in a good way, turn it into something good, make something good come of that myself. So here I am. I'm sharing my journey, my experiences with narcissism, narcissistic abuse, domestic abuse, and everything I experienced, in order to, how can I say, I want to use my videos and my channels and as a gateway to help other people who may be experiencing the same thing. I want to eventually build a community that we can all support each other, and stand strong together and help each other out. And, there's things I want to change, the legal system being one of them. But, that's for much, much later on. And, once I'm on the right path and, things are going well and I know how to do it or how to even start it, I can, try and look into, because I've also seen on social media that there's too many times victims will speak out about their abuse and the law sides, people side with the abuser because there's no physical evidence. And even if there is physical evidence, the abuser somehow still manages to manipulate the system. But I don't want to get into all of that. But bettering the system is one of my goals. So using my videos, sharing my experiences is just a gateway for me, really. I mean, once I run out of, I get to post breakdown and share the knowledge that I've learned since then, there's kind of nothing else for me to share. So that will be when I take the next steps. That being said, I like to use a reference where, what they say, one drop of water is fairly insignificant. But if you put 100 drops, 1,000 drops, 1,000,000 drops, 100,000,000 drops, well, an ocean of water is just a collection of loads and loads and loads of drops. And who wants to go mess around with an ocean? You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's my intentions and what I want for my channel. And it's a stepping stone to a bigger goal, in a nutshell. You will find in my next couple of videos, I use quotes a lot. And just briefly, when I was coming out of the mental breakdown and I was going through a hard time trying to make sense of the chaos in my head, I used Pinterest. Well, I didn't use Pinterest, I found Pinterest. I was actually looking for something else and it all just fell into place, really. On Pinterest was a load of quotes which put into words better than I could what was going on in here. And I could make sense of things and I could then better understand it for myself, and it was easier for me to process and deal with. So all of these quotes and everything else, I do upload to other social media. For example, Instagram, or what's the other one? Threads. I think Lemon, the partner of TikTok as well. So, if you want to see the quotes that I use in my videos and more, please go onto those. They'll all have the same username, so there's no confusions. With all that being said, the first 7 episodes that I'm going to put on my new channel are from my old channel. I cannot use my old channel's name for obvious reasons, but I've decided to put in my profile picture from that channel as my own watermark. So every time I upload from episode 8, kind of, will have the watermark, and they'll also be called episodes and not videos. If you only want to watch the episodes, look for the ones with the watermarks in the thumbnails. I'll also have a separate playlist. I'll put playlists with all my videos and, important information, announcements, episodes, I'll have playlists on my channel for those. So it makes it easier to go and find what you're looking for. Let me just check I've said everything I wanted to say. Yeah, again, I can't use my previous channel name in the episodes because I don't want it searchable or findable or discoverable. Anyway, yeah, so I've covered everything I wanted to say. Let's hope attempt number 2 is at least a bit more productive, and I look forward to embarking on this second time round journey with all of you. All right, take care of yourselves. Thank you. Bye.